Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. You've already seen it. The articles, the podcasts, the videos on the holidays are coming. So we need to have more self-care. We need to take better care of ourselves. We need to love ourselves more. And I'm here to say that is a great way just to screw yourself up more. What? Don't we all need a little bit more stress relief? Nope. What you need is a better relationship with yourself, not learning to love yourself more. We've all been in relationships with someone who has said that they've loved us. And then for whatever reason, they couldn't love us the way we needed, or they said they loved us and then they treated us like crap. So maybe they did love us, but they didn't know how to be in a relationship with us. Well, guess what? We need to be in a relationship with ourselves first and foremost. Not love ourselves more, but understand how to showcase it in a way that brings out our brilliance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 skill sets, and then I'm going to give you 5 steps on being in a better relationship with yourself. So let's start with skill sets. The first one is you need to get honest with yourself. You see, everything you do because you get something out of it. That means even the stuff that screws you up, you get something out of it. And I know there are some of you that are already wanting to argue with me that the procrastination, the overeating, the bad choices in romantic relationships, the spending too much money, the fear, the panic, the anxiety, you do not choose. And I'm going to say there's a part of you that does. It gets something out of it, even if that something is dysfunctional. It goes back to your original programming. Maybe it was safety. You were dependent upon something outside of you to be okay. That's what you were conditioned to do. Or drama, crisis, chaos, and confusion is what you will continually seek out. Or consistently finding people that you need to martyr yourself for, or connecting to people by being a hot mess or them being a hot mess. I just gave you what's known as the core 4. Each of the core 4, certainty, variety, worthiness, and love, has its functional healthy side, but it also has its dysfunctional side. And so you're getting one of those met. You're continuing to feel abandoned, rejected, not good enough, and that there's not enough, because those are the wounds for the core 4. So we need to get honest and say, what do you get out of the very thing that's causing you stress and overwhelm and hurting you? Because then we see what's on the other side of it that's progress oriented. But before we can give your pain a purpose for progress, you need to be honest. Okay. Second step, trust. You need to trust yourself. Well, the first 2 stages of trust are you get the person and you are for the person. So you have to get yourself and understand that this part of you has been acting out in a way that it thought was actually beneficial because it was relying on the original programming and conditioning that you were given. So to begin to trust yourself, you're not sabotaging because you want to hurt yourself. You're sabotaging because it's the only way you felt like you could cope in an experience, in a situation that was way over your head at the time that it happened. Third skill set, you respect this part of you. Because this part of you, once it is free, once it is unlocked, once it's given permission for fuller expression in a healthy way, oh, wow, it will take you places you cannot even imagine. But you have to be able to honor it instead of making it wrong. And then this is what will, number 4, open up the communication. This aspect of your personality will be able to come forward and go, hey, I'm feeling like I might get triggered. Look out. What do we got going on? What do we need to address? It's your early warning system. It's your early warning system that your values are getting ready to be violated by something or someone so you can take appropriate action. So those are the skill sets that are needed. And I'll give you a personal example. A while back, working with my own mentor, discovered something very interesting. There's something known as cluster B personality disorders. There's 5 of them. Well, it seems like the 3 significant male relationships in my life were 3 out of the 5. 3 significant male relationships with men that cannot love. They either can only have favorites or food sources. Whoa. To honestly look at that and go, yeah, this can be a challenge to trust myself and going into a relationship. Oh, yeah, but I've got to respect this part of me that was raised by a man who treated me like a son. I was the son he never had, even though he did have a son. And I was taught to fight for everything. Oh my gosh. So I have to respect the part of me that goes into a relationship going, I'm going to have to fight for love. And then it opens up the communication with that teenage me that learned to pick those types of relationships and go, you know what? What do you really value? What do you really want to experience, younger me? If you didn't have to be triggered by fighting for love, what would you want to do instead? And this is the part of me that loves being kind of edgy with some of the adventures that I go on, whether it might be whitewater rafting or doing aquarium dives or snorkeling with the manatees. This is how I give her fuller expression. But she shows up now to let me know, hey, I'm not quite sure about this guy. I think we might have to fight for every breadcrumb he's going to give us. So she's my early warning system because I've moved into a relationship with her through these skill sets. So those are the skill sets. Now I am going to give you the different stages of having a relationship. And this is a relationship, whether it's with yourself or with someone else. The first one is intimacy. Into me, you see. So we have various levels of our relationships, and there are some that should be in what's known as your garden of growth. And that these are descending orders. So the very first relationship that's in your garden of growth is you and your higher power, because it then denotes every relationship underneath it. So it all flows down. So you and your higher power, whatever your higher power is, but it's a belief system that the universe is conspiring for your good. Now, some of us have been through some stuff where it can be hard to believe that at times, and that's where faith comes in. So if you don't have the belief established, then you can say, well, I'm going to operate on faith for the next 3 months, because it takes 3 months for an identity upgrade through consistent action over those 13 weeks. So you have belief or faith that you're going to bring yourself out at your brightest, your most brilliant, because the world is a better place that way. Then the next one down is a relationship with your significant other. Now, some of us might not have that significant other just yet. Keep in mind, whatever or whoever is there, then that will determine the relationship further down. So maybe your significant other needs to be you right now. Maybe that's who needs to be there. I have one client, where her significant other is her dog. That is the primary love relationship in her life. So all the relationships underneath that are then colored by the relationship with the dog. The dog always comes first. There was a woman who actually put her kids there and then her new husband at a lower level, which meant that he would always be subject to the kids. Ooh, not a healthy place to be, because then we get into intimacy. The mom is having emotional intimacy with the kids. That is not healthy. In fact, it's known as emotional incest sometimes. Okay, so you've got significant other. Then underneath that, you're going to have family. Underneath that, you're going to have friends. There's typically 12 that can be in this area, with 3 of them being the closest. And that's what's in your garden of growth. And people or pets only come in or go out because you've chosen to let them in or boot them out of the garden of growth. This is, we have a healthy boundary around it. Nobody comes in or out because they've decided to. And for most of us, we were raised without boundaries, which means the gate to our garden of growth has been left open, and trash from the neighborhood as well as other people's gardens has blown into ours, and we need to get that cleaned up. All right. So this is what it means to be intimate and allowing people to see you and experience you at this level. But you need to be intimate with yourself as far as, what do you believe? What do you have faith in? What about the relationship, your significant other relationship with yourself? From there, the second step is going to be a power struggle. Expect it with yourself. So you have one part of your identity, an aspect of your personality that was developed around a situation or a series of experiences that you could not handle for whatever reason. And so you developed a focus, a feeling, and an action to protect yourself that is now wreaking havoc and creating hell in your life. Well, guess what? It's not going to go away, this aspect of your personality. Remember, I shared with you my fighter, my inner warrior. She is not leaving, but I have to look at, what is the ultimate value of a warrior? Peace. Nothing missing, nothing broken. That is her ultimate role in my life, is for peace. So we want to look at your aspect of your identity and see what its ultimate value is, and give it the ability to get that value met in a way that's healthy for you. And then allow your wise woman to step forward and now take the reins on dealing with reality in a healthy and mature way. So the pain of your past, your future fulfillment, those two aspects of your personality coming together in the gift of today. That's why it's called the present moment. There has to be a dominance hierarchy of which one is going to run your life. And it shouldn't be the younger you that is frozen in time based on the fear that she was experiencing. She needs to be freed from that contract. And then you'll find that the self-sabotage and the struggle that you've been experiencing begins to lessen. How long? Yeah, 13 weeks, 91 days, 3 months. That's how long it takes for an identity upgrade. Okay, step number 3. Now we're beginning to experience stability. For some people, though, that stability feels odd because you're used to a lot of crisis, chaos, drama, and confusion. So we need to have an influx of emotions. We have to have variety. You need to get out of your familiar zone and discover new things, or your subconscious will go back to self-sabotage just to give itself something to do because it wants to experience emotions. We get bored when things are too certain. So for you to actually have stability, you need to kind of push yourself. Some people call it a comfort zone. I don't think there's anything comfortable about being stuck and struggling. It's just what you're familiar with. You need to push yourself out of it and discover just how far you can go. So what then happens with stability? You commit, because this is level number 4. There is commitment to your growth by closing the gap through failure. Yep. For every 10 things you do, only 2 are going to work. 8 are not. But those 8 should be pointing out what you're missing. And a lot of times it's hard to see the picture when you're inside the frame, which is the reason why it works really well to have a mentor, a guide, a facilitator. People go, well, I got an accountability partner. Well, great. They can only take you as far as their own wound, because you will wind up triggering them. And now we're going to have 2 people with a problem. And then step number 5, now you move into co-creation. Now you move into your relationship with other people with the skill sets of honesty, trust, respect, open communication, and what are you going to value? And then taking those skill sets and moving through the levels of being intimate, knowing that there's going to be a power struggle. You're going to find the stability by committing to what you're going to co-create together. Woo! So, yeah, you don't need stress reduction. You need to start designing your life by what's really significant about you and brilliant, and looking at all the ways that you've made it this far and releasing that younger you from the contract that is continuing to cause chaos in your life, but embracing your wise woman that can bring the wonder and the joy. Whew. Okay. If I can assist you with this, because yes, this is what I do with my clients. It's what's known as an all access pass. It is 4 sessions held within 6 weeks. I like to see them within 4 weeks, but I know things can come up with the holidays. And each session is 90 minutes. You get a combination of coaching where we're going to discover even more about your brilliance and how to, the best way to showcase it to move forward, as well as your self-sabotage, and then a hypnosis session to bring all aspects of you together in agreement in your garden of growth. The investment for this is $697. So you can reach out to me, 1-636-699-7791, or go to canhypnosishelpyou.com. And if you go to the website, then you can set a time for us to talk to make sure that this is the best fit for you. Or you can text me and tell me that you want to talk or you want to take advantage of the offer. All right. So to bring everything together in your gift of the present moment. You have a part of you that had to deal with a pain that was overwhelming. We need to release her from that and reveal what she is really capable of once she has been given the correct focus of fulfillment. And then your wise woman needs to be given permission to show up in that space and place for your progress. this is a cycle that can and will work for you.